Hey, welcome back. I've got another video where we're going to be talking about this weekend's pre-orders, and we have like a pretty full list at this point, so I thought I would take a look at it with you. And we also have some leaks in terms of pricing. It's not the best, I won't lie, but I'm going to try to be as positive as possible where I can, and the things that I can't be as positive about, I'm going to very briefly touch on and then move on, because I don't want this video to get bogged down in negativity, because overall, it's still a really good time to be a Warhammer Fantasy fan. So, first off, we have the start collecting boxes for Tomb Kings and Brettonia, mostly made up of old models. A lot of people are disappointed, and that's fair. They are quite old, and they don't hold up as well as the newer things do, or compared to the newer things. So I can understand the hesitation to want to buy older models at current GW pricing, but I'm going to play devil's advocate here and sort of just talk about why it's actually not the worst deal in the world when you look at these two kits. Both of these were discontinued 8 years ago in terms of armies, and they were entirely wiped out. There was nothing left to buy. So it's a great option for people who missed out when these were available in stores and, didn't want to pay for used minis at the cost some of these have become over the years. And just for example, even though the skeletons are very old in the Tomb King box, if you add up what comes in there, 40 spearmen, 32 archers, 8 riders, and 3 chariots, just the old stuff, and you go to sold listings on eBay, the average price that you're going to pay, once you look at all the different options, is somewhere around $280 Canadian to $320 Canadian to buy used miniatures. Just as many or just about as many. And that doesn't count the dragon or the book that's included. So there's actually quite a bit of value there if you really want to start Tomb Kings, if the old models don't bother you, but you have been bothered by the price of used miniatures. These are going to be new, and by the time you factor in the dragon and the book, it's actually a really decent savings for anybody who really wants these guys. The same thing goes for Brettonia. The savings aren't as extreme, but they're also not terrible. Pretty much, it is going to be cheaper to buy this army used as it's presented, but not by that much. This is still a $220-ish pile of used plastic, whereas you can get this set for about $320 Canadian is sort of my guess, and other people are guessing in the same range. But then you get the Paladin and the book. So really, I think it's a pretty good deal if you want to start Brettonia. So I just kind of wanted to get that out there, because again, a lot of people have had issues with these kits in terms of what's in them. But if you're a person who wanted this and you're okay with older minis, don't let the price tag put you off, because you're really just not going to get a better deal. It's as simple as that. Even once these things come out and the old models drop in price on the used market, they're still not going to drop that much because the price here is quite high. So that's just something to consider. So the next thing we have are the prices that have been leaked so far. Definitely, take it with a grain of salt, because I don't know 100% that these are accurate or real, but they look pretty legitimate to me. On the left, we have all the items that are going to be direct from GW only, and you won't be able to buy these in store. Just online is how I'm understanding it. And these are in US prices, followed up by UK prices for everything that you can buy in store, whether that's a Warhammer store or an independent retailer. And as you can see, there's quite a bit more available only online. That's because anything that's not plastic or the new books seems like it's going to be online only. It's kind of a shame, because you're hoping to see stuff go back into stores, and it does appear that a lot of it is going to be online only, and it doesn't put a lot of confidence in you when you see that. But um, at the same time, I can understand GW does have thousands of items they carry. Adding even more, hundreds more, um, items, it's just something that I can understand why they want to avoid sending that to their stores. So I'm just going to say the prices are not the best, but I can understand why they're only online at the same time. As for the things that are in stores, prices are pretty much in line with what I expected. The dice are prohibitively expensive. I don't like the price of the dice ever from GW at this point, so I just sort of see them and ignore them. I'm also going to point out before I forget, Knights of the Realm on foot, those are delayed. Those are on here, but they've been pushed back probably a couple of weeks. That was in an article that was released, I think, today or yesterday. So don't expect your Knights of the Realm on foot yet. And that price at $50 is for 20 models. That's not 10. That's 20 models. That's pretty good actually, in my opinion, for a brand new kit that you're going to get 20 of. That's the majority of a unit. So yeah, the Knights of the Realm on foot. It is what it is. They're not coming out yet, but the price really isn't that bad in my opinion. Everything else, again, just pretty much standard prices for rule books and starter sets. Again, a little bit high, but you do get a lot of plastic. Remember, those starter sets are 1,250 points. That's quite a big jump into your army right there. And you can put the rest of the money you would normally spend on a Warhammer army into the really fun stuff, the neat stuff that is cooler. And for Brettonia, here's just sort of a collection of various things you'll be able to buy. Um, Only a couple of things, as I said, are going to be available in stores. Like I think the dice and the Pegasus Knights for sure. They're plastic. I think dice are going to stores. I think I said that. But everything else appears to be online only. Oh, sorry, and the Pegasus Lord. He's going to be in store also. But we learned from that same article about the Foot Knights being delayed that that's actually two different kits. One is a Paladin or a BSB, a Paladin with a BSB, Battle Standard Bearer. Um, the other is the Lord and something else. I forget what. Basically, it's two separate kits, so that's something to keep in mind. But they're both supposed to be on the pre-order list. But yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of weird little groupings. Like you can buy 12 Battle Pilgrims. I forget the price; it's quite high. You can buy five Yeomen. They're like $75 for US for five, and the Command of three models is actually 60. Um, it's the same thing with the Grail Knights. It's like three Command for 60 or three Grail Knights for 60. The metal models are going to be very expensive, so just keep that in mind. But I'm not going to carry on about that anymore because the prices are what they are. We'll have to decide how we feel about that individually. Tomb Kings. I think their releases are a little more exciting because a lot of their stuff actually was plastic that's coming back. So, for example, the War Sphinx was a big plastic kit that's coming back into stores. The Tomb Guard now in boxes of 20 versus 10, they're coming back. Again, the prices are quite high when you look at it, but it's 20, not 10. It's double the models, but the price itself doesn't appear to have doubled. And then there's the Tomb Stalkers or Necropolis Knights, the big snakes. There's a couple of ways to build them. Again, a nice big beautiful plastic unit, and it's coming back into stock. Cetra, a bunch of characters, Ushopti, those are all going to be on the web store. Same with like the cards. It's just going to be down to what you want to get day one. But Tomb Kings actually have a huge amount of their list available. A lot of stuff is still missing for the Brettonians in terms of what they'll be able to buy day one. But if you want to start a 2,000 point army of Tomb Kings on day one, buy the starter set, buy a War Sphinx, buy some of the Stalkers, and a couple of characters, and you're basically going to be there at 2,000 points. And that's really cool to see because, again, Tomb Kings, they've been very expensive for anybody who wanted to start them for some time. Having an option where you could pretty much pick up an army for somewhere in the range of $400 to $500 with the books you need, or at least the main book. You'll still need to buy your rule books for your armies, but that's just how Warhammer goes. But yeah, that's actually really nice to see because an army at 2,000 points for Tomb Kings for a long time has been like seven, $800, $900 used, because just everybody charges a premium. So really cool to see. Um, this is just some extra stuff. This is less good overall. The bases are too expensive, but bases are always too expensive from GW. Go to eBay. You'll find lots of great options, and you just search in the size you want, square. You'll find lots of people selling them for, 20 bucks for a bag of 100. That's the way to do it. The modular movement trays, I'm not sold on those either. The price is quite high, but they were too expensive when they came out like 12 years ago. So I think the ideal way to do movement trays is actually, if you already have an army, get a movement tray that has the slot spaces already built in, or go to online sites like Etsy, eBay, and see what people have. I'm 3D printing my own. I've designed really simple trays and just started printing them out. I have about 30 various trays ready. They look great. They work perfectly. They're the right size, and I'm happy with them. Uh, I think in total it maybe cost me about $35 in filament, and it's a fairly expensive filament on top of that. And then there's going to be the decks of cards. Tomb Kings and Brettonians each have them, and there's also a deck of common magic items and lores of magic. I'm not sure I need any of these. Maybe the Tomb King one is worth it because they probably have their spells in there. Brettonia does not have spells of their own as far as I know. Um, it is possible that they're going to put the lores that are available to Brettonia in there. That might be how they're padding it. But the Lores of Magic deck, if that's the 8 lores from the core book, that's sort of a must buy in my opinion. I have used my 8th edition cards, whether it's my Skaven or my 8 Lores of Magic core lores. I've used those cards pretty much since the game released them back in like 2010. I've never regretted that purchase. Um, if you think you'll even get like 3 or 5 years use out of them, I think they're probably worth it. They'll pay for themselves just in terms of convenience. For the magic ones, having that in front of you, it's really simple. Otherwise, you're going to be marking stuff down with dice or little scraps of paper of who has what. This is so much simpler. Um, of course, you can always print your own, but these ones, if they're as nice as the ones I have for 8th edition, definitely worth it. And GW cards have been one of the few things that have maintained a pretty steady quality, in my opinion, over the years. The sleeves I don't care about. They're like $20 US, I think, for 50 sleeves. That's way too much. Just buy some like cheap sleeves for 99 cents. It'll do the same thing if that's what you really want. So the last thing we have is a map. This is 1,000 by 890 millimeters, or like 3 feet, a little over 3 feet by a little under 2 feet. And it's the map of the old world that they've been showing off from like a year and a half, 2 years, whatever it's been, little pieces at a time. And you can see where all the factions are that matter to the old world at this moment. I think it's really cool. I like it. I think it's like a hand painted map as far as I understand. I've seen some videos of different GW staff painting on a big canvas. I'm pretty sure they just painted this and then took pictures and like digitized it and whatnot. It's super cool. Um, if I was going to buy anything frivolous on Saturday, this is probably going to be it. I'm not sure if I will, but I'm pretty in love with the idea of a giant map on my wall. It's just a matter of figuring out if I have a spot for it. Anyways, I think that's really all I have to talk about today. If you have any thoughts or comments about what's going on with the pre-order, with those prices, totally put those in the comments. Let me know what you're going to order if you are getting anything. Let me know why you're not going to order if you're deciding to skip this. Um, Basically, let's talk about what's going to happen this Saturday. I think I already know what I'm going to order. I'm sort of just working out the logistics and the finances of it all, but hopefully I'll have a video unboxing some of this stuff in the near future. Anyways, thanks for listening today, and have yourselves a great day.